Vegas is in trouble, and these two reports show just how bad it's getting. A big thanks to one of our Blue Sky followers for sending me the second one. I actually had to rework this video just to include it. Now, Vegas is a city I know well, but just like with Hawaii, I won't be setting foot there again anytime soon. Before we jump in, here's another photo from my mom. This one from her recent trip with my dad to Alberta. Her website should be up in a few weeks, assuming I'm not buried under videos. Thanks again, Mom. All right, let's get into the reports.
This Friday night into the weekend, it is the typical influx of tourists into town. We know overall tourism is facing a bit of a slump, but businesses big and small and the workers are especially concerned about the drop in visitors from Nevada's biggest market, Canada.
Our product is Red Rock Canyon. Our product is the Grand Canyon, Bryce Canyon, Zion Canyon. Canada is one of our best clients. As Escape Adventures, we really rely on those people.
Escape Adventures offers bike tours across the Southwest. Though Nevada is known for the Strip and gaming, outdoor tourism is a major industry for Nevada. 58,000 workers generate $8.1 billion a year. The Nevada Outdoor Business Coalition says many small businesses are suffering from a drop in tourism and international tourism, especially fewer visitors from Canada. Travel Nevada says in 2024 alone, 1.49 million Canadians made the trek to Nevada. Harry Reid Airport's tracking the decline. April showed double-digit drops in passengers from major Canadian airlines. The Outdoor Business Coalition says Nevada small businesses are in a bind. They don't want to talk politics. And though Jared keeps...
Wait, what? Nevada's small businesses are struggling, but they don't want to talk about politics? That's exactly what got you into this mess. Washington is the problem. Canada didn't start it. Neither did Australia or Europe. So when businesses in Nevada refuse to even acknowledge the political climate, all it does is signal denial. Some might say, we're just small businesses, what can we do? And sure, I get that. But the power doesn't just sit in Washington. It comes from people who decide what they will and won't tolerate. And here's the pattern I keep seeing. It doesn't matter if I'm reacting to reports from Hawaii, Maine, Nevada, Florida, or Washington State. Every single one of them shows the same thing. No pushback from local business owners, no stance from tourism execs, and governors playing it safe. Instead, the go-to strategy is to beg international tourists to come back. Yeah, no. We're not falling for that. And while we all wish the numbers from Air Canada and WestJet were stronger, the fact that this report made it to air means it's making an impact. And considering the source is Fox News, I've got a feeling those numbers are actually worse than they're letting on.
Keeps a relationship with longtime customers. It's tough for a small business to launch a tourism campaign across Canada.
That's a hit to Las Vegas because that's maybe less tours for my guides. So that's less money, less tip money, less hours for them.
We love our Canadian visitors. Policy changes and tariffs and the strained international relations with our Canadian visitors, we wanted to specifically find a way to make sure they felt welcomed.
The LBCVA showing Canadians some love. When Edmonton fans traveled to Vegas during the playoffs, they got free drinks. Elvis and Showgirls greeted visitors with a warm welcome.
Why do U.S. businesses think Canadians can be won back with freebies? A couple drinks, a 2-for-1 pizza, maybe a sleeve of golf balls, and that's supposed to do it? In the short time I've been making these videos, I've seen a lot of this. And honestly, every time I see another perk, it just pushes me further away. My pride in this country, our sovereignty, isn't something you can buy with a cheap promo. If that's the best they can offer, they still don't get it. Sorry, just needed to get that off my chest.
Statewide agency Travel Nevada says they're keeping a presence in Canada and recently campaigned in cities from Calgary, Edmonton, Red Deer, and Vancouver, and paid campaigns on popular sites. In a statement, Travel Nevada remains committed to promoting the state to Canadian travelers to protect our market share and recoup some of the recent losses.
So that relationship has been damaged. That's something that's going to take a while to come back. It's not going to happen this year.
This business owner gets it, and I respect that. He sees the reality for what it is. But I can't ignore who his commander-in-chief is. That's where the sympathy starts to fade, and where the internal tug-of-war begins for me. Just like in this next clip, where a well-known pizza shop owner is feeling the pain caused by Taco Man. You can hear it in his voice when he talks about how things used to be compared to now. Let's check it out.
It's a popular hub for international tourism, but Tourism gaming numbers, they continue to go the wrong way as we head into the summer. New data from the LVCVA shows that tourism is down more than 6% compared to this time last year. The airport also recording its fourth straight month of declines. Overall travel down nearly 4%. Las Vegas Strip also seeing a 4% decline in the gaming win in May compared to a year ago.
I know what you're thinking. These numbers should be way higher. Come on, Canada. Why are we still going? These should be at least 50% by now. Two things could be going on here. One, the numbers are padded. It's a US media outlet, and they're not exactly known for triggering panic when it affects their bottom line. Or two, if these are real numbers, even at a small percentage, it's still hitting Vegas hard. There's only so much the US can rely on domestic tourism before cracks start to show. So take it for what it's worth. My benchmark? It's how loud the governors, US businesses, or even the locals start complaining they're losing money or laying off staff. And no, I'm not talking about the locals yelling, "We don't need Canada." Those ones, just plain uneducated.
So we are taking a closer look at these numbers and seeing how it's impacting small businesses near the Strip.
Yeah, Will Silverstein joins us from Paradise Road, where he's been talking with one business owner who says he is struggling this summer. And Will, as far as economic barometers go, I guess we could call this the pizza index?
Yes, that's exactly what you can call this. Christopher Palmieri, he's a successful guy. He's been on Guy Fieri's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives on a couple of occasions in the past, and he's very popular with the locals. So why is he struggling right now? It's because of lack of tourists that are buying pizza from him, and a financial analyst that we spoke to says his case is not particularly unusual.
I think everyone's been expecting some degree of settling. We're certainly seeing it this summer.
Jeremy Aguero from Applied Analysis is indicating the post-COVID tourism boom in Las Vegas may be coming to a close.
We've made great efforts relative to economic diversification, but we're still more dependent on travel and tourism than any other major market in the United States.
Yeah, tourists go to Vegas to have fun, hit a few conferences, and gamble. But domestic tourism isn't going to grow your economy. It's just money moving from one pocket to another. Without international visitors, without us, there's no new money flowing into the hands of business owners. Then what happens? Food prices go up. Restaurants start shutting down. It's the trickle-down effect, something the uneducated MAGA crowd still doesn't get.
The numbers for tourism dropping across the board. New data from the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority sees a 6.5% drop in tourism from May 2024 to May 2025, with hotel occupancy dropping 3.1% as well, not to mention a nearly 4% drop-off in arriving and departing passengers from May of last year at Harry Reid. Aguero says get ready for more red numbers.
We do expect to see some regression.
Just a lot less tourists in town and a lot less business.
Christopher Palmieri is the owner of Naked City Pizza just off of Paradise, which holds the distinction of appearing twice on Guy Fieri's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. But the spiky hair star has not been enough to save Palmieri's store from a recent downturn in business. The shop owner taking to social media to vent online.
Combination of a lot of things, and then having basically my worst day since COVID. Just kind of sparked it.
So how bad was Palmieri's Monday?
I mean, an average, day, we might make 60, 70, 80 pizzas. A day like Monday where my frustrations overtook me a little bit. I think we made like 7 orders total for the whole day.
You can hear it in his voice, the pain. He went from making 60 to 80 pizzas a day to just 7 orders total. That's over a 90% drop in business. That kind of hit? That's not just slow traffic. That's a gut punch. And yeah, that's got to be pretty frustrating.
Explaining why he posted on social media and wanted to speak with News 3.
There's just an amazing amount of local restaurants in Las Vegas, and we want to support them.
Aguero says the downtick in tourism is not the end of the world, at least yet.
People are going to look at this and go, oh gosh, things are down. But if we look at it in comparison to where we were in 2019, right, we're still up by a tremendous amount.
I'm very sorry. I've got to pause again for a second and vent. This guy says everything's fine because they're still doing better than 2019. Pretty sure he meant 2020 because that's when COVID hit. But here's what he's not thinking about. In 2020, there wasn't a US president slapping tariffs on the world. There wasn't a president talking about annexing Canada and Greenland. And there sure as hell wasn't a president with a goon squad detaining innocent tourists and even their own citizens. You can't compare COVID numbers to what's happening now. Different time, different president, different mess. And the main difference in 2020, even though there were travel restrictions, the international tourists still wanted to go to the US. Okay, end of my vent. Sorry again.
So when we pour over all that data, you see a lot of red arrows. That usually means a bad thing. One red arrow that actually ends up being a good thing is that the prices for hotels are going slightly down from where they were in May of 2024. You heard Aguero talk a lot there. He also spoke a lot in the interview that I did with him just about how people in the middle, not those high-end hotels, not the value motels, they are getting priced out of that area. So if you have the overall average going down, that may be a good thing for folks and for tourism and encouraging that travel out this way. Dana and Jim.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago in this town, we didn't have resort fees.
Yeah.
Parking was free, valet was free. All of that is gone, and I think that's hurting our city's reputation.
All right, you got that part right. Vegas is getting way too expensive, even for your own citizens. People are being priced out left and right. But hey, domestic tourism should cover that, right? The tourism pain is real. No matter what the far right says, domestic travel isn't covering the gap. And the Go Home Canada crowd? Just deflection. Loud voices trying to bury the fact that the damage is already done. We're not dealing with one problem. We're dealing with two. One is sitting in the White House, while ICE runs wild across the country. The other is 77 million supporters, many of whom are still showing up in these comment sections, pushing the same tired rhetoric. Now, to be clear, I support the Americans who didn't vote for Trump. I don't want to sound like I'm generalizing all US citizens together. I've had friends and family in the US who are just as angry and fed up. And to those of you in the comments saying, keep boycotting, stand your ground, or sorry for what our country's become. Thank you. I see you. I support you. But from a distance. If this hits home for you, drop a comment, hit like, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want more, check out the other videos on your screen now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.